Hi everybody, welcome again to Wingman Wisdom. Thanks for joining me today. This is my virtual campfire where we sit around and, try to solve all the world's problems. Today's video is going to be a lot different than most of the videos you see here. Today we're going to celebrate dads. We're going to talk about Father's Day. Now, the way this idea came about was a couple of weeks ago. I don't sleep very well at night. I just don't. But I had such a terrific night's sleep, and I had a dream about my dad. And I woke up feeling so good. Now, my dad passed away a couple of years ago, but I woke up and I just thought, okay, I got to do something with this. So the idea was that I wanted you, my viewers, to think of this scenario. What if, for some miracle, God said, here's your dad back? Or what if you only had 2 minutes with your dad if he's still alive? Two minutes, that's all you have. But it was a miracle. Poof, your dad is back. What would you tell him? What would you say to your dad in those 2 very special minutes? The response I had was unbelievable. It made me feel so good, touched me, made me tear up a lot. So I'm going to play some of those phone calls in a few minutes. I'm hopeful that these calls and today's message will, resonate with somebody, maybe not with very many people, but will touch somebody's heart to maybe pick up the phone, call their dad, or forgive their dad for something, even if he's gone, but just to make you think, not just think, but to feel. So along those lines, my friend Roger Hurricane Wilson, who is he's a hell of a guitar player. He's a musician. He's an RVer. He has performed at my campground in Texas for many, many years. He's an all-around good guy, songwriter as well, and he wrote a song recently about one of his experiences as a boy with his dad. And he just released it right before Father's Day. So we're going to visit with Roger. Then I'm going to play the phone calls and wrap today's video up. So I visited with Roger earlier today. Here's part of that conversation. Well, happy Father's Day to you, Roger. Hope it was a good day.
Beautiful day. I got some additional grandkids, so it made it even better.
Well, I want to visit with you real quick about your new song that just came out. Yeah, I think it's so appropriate for this day, Father's Day, for dads everywhere. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, back when I was 10 years old, my dad had built me a little boat. He always had the dreams of living on a houseboat and seeing the world that way, but his dreams never really sufficed. So I think he took a lot of pride in helping me out in this. So he made me a little 8-foot boat and took me down to the creek near our house where I used to swim a lot, and put me on a 100-foot rope. And I went out and felt like I was Christopher Columbus exploring the new world and paddling around while he had me on the rope. And a little while later, my paddle fell in, and I think he kind of was wondering how I was going to handle it. But anyway, I dived right on in and went and grabbed the paddle and came back and climbed in the boat. And it was like, because I knew how to swim pretty well. At that age, and so he told me he saw what happened, and he just coiled the rope up and he said, "Here, you're on your own. I'm going home." And it's about an event of having a child or having a son, where he told me later on that was the moment he figured he didn't have to worry about me anymore. And then years later, with my 2 sons, at separate times in their lives, they were older than I was in their late teen years, but they both pulled something off that made me figure, well, they're probably going to be okay. And so it was just a song that I figured I had to write, and I put it down as it is now.
I know the song is so personal to you. How can you perform that? Maybe it's no big deal, but without feeling some kind of emotion, about remembering the day when you fell in the water.
Well, I'm going to have to deal with that because I made an original social media post about the song, and I said I'm going to have a hard time performing this emotionally, and I probably won't be able to. I haven't tried to yet. It's all been recorded, because every time I still listen to it, I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I can get through that line, especially the final verse, where my dad was on his way out. And so I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I may do a video on social media just playing acoustic guitar and doing it. If I can get through it, I'll try it. But it's going to take some time before I'll go live with it that way.
I want to ask you a personal question, not necessarily about the song, but about your dad, with it being Father's Day and everything. I asked this to some people the other day that if you had, by some miracle, if your dad were able to show back up in your life for 2 minutes, that's all you had. God said, here, you two are together. You had 2 minutes. What would you say to your dad, especially on today, Father's Day?
Well, I would tell him, I would say, I appreciate everything he taught me, and I wish I could have been maybe more like him, or as smart as he was, or something like that. But I appreciate what he taught me, and he always said he never expected too much from me, and I would tell him that I appreciated that, and that he was always there, and he was usually willing to listen when something came up. So I mean, I learned a lot from him, and I would have made sure that he knew that, and I think he already did.
Isn't it funny how the older we get, the more we see our dads in a different way than we did when we were young?
Well, what I found out was, our parents are not as perfect as we probably thought they were, because they're human, and so we find out what the flaws are later on. But we also it's kind of comforting to accept the fact that they were doing the best they could.
Well, I love your song, and I wish you the very best of luck. And we're going to put up a link to your YouTube channel in this video. Send folks over there to get to know you better. So thank you again, and I love your song, and congratulations. Happy Father's Day to you, Roger.
Well, thank you, and happy Father's Day to you, and give my best to the family.
I will. Talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye. Again, we'll roll Roger's full song at the end of today's video, so stick around for that, and I've got a link to his YouTube channel in the description down below. So getting to the voicemails for a second, we received so many of them, so many heartfelt messages, and for that I am most grateful. Rather than me tell you about it, we put together a little montage, and I think that when you listen to it, if you listen to it with your head and an open heart, you'll understand how important the love of a father really is.
I would tell him, Dad, we've found Cheryl and Tony. They found us. We're a family. We're getting together, and we're talking about you and all of our lives and what's been going on for the past 75 years. Very emotional for me, and my dad was a wonderful man. I love him. Miss him.
I always think about the things that he told me, the things that he taught me, and every day I wish I could be with him, but not the way that he was. And I'm happy for him because I know he's in a better place. Despite what he thought, I thought he was the greatest dad in the entire world, and I still do.
My name is Rick from St. Petersburg, Florida, and I'd like to tell my dad thanks for giving me the leadership, the encouragement that I needed, and the direction to reach my goals that I had in life that I never thought I could have. He encouraged me, and my dream was to become a commercial airline pilot, which I'd never thought I would make. But I did it as a captain for 33 years.
I just would love to be as good as he was, and I try every day to try to be close to him as I could or as I can.
Hi, this is Faye from Minnesota. I'd like to tell my dad how much I loved him and how much he did right for every one of his kids at the time they needed it.
Mainly just want to say I love you. I forgive you. And wish our life was a lot better than what it was when you were alive. More time together. More sun time. More wisdom time, more time just sitting, talking, maybe even having a beer like we never did, or smoked a cigar together. But I love you.
My dad passed away in 1977 when I was 12 years old, and he is dearly missed. And if he was back today, I'd tell him how much things have changed and how much I'm sorry for not sticking to his priorities and his morals about life. But the later in life that I got, the more he influenced me. And I'd like to tell him that the man I married is a lot like him.
Everything I have done in my life that was right and good and true was because of how he raised me.
You were my everything when growing up. We could have cried and laughed together about your life with forgiveness and understanding. God bless you, Dad.
Now, that was just a small sampling of some of the voicemail messages that we received. If you called and didn't hear your message, I am sorry. We didn't have time to play them all, but I want you to know that almost every call started out the same. Very cool, very calm. And then somewhere towards the middle, towards the end, when they started opening up, many of the messages I couldn't play. The people literally, they opened up and they were connecting on a deep, visceral level with their dad. Man, that made me feel good. I couldn't even play those messages. They are heartfelt. The love of a father is super, super important. Being a good father, it ain't easy, I know. But I think we all ought to try. So I'm going to wrap it up today with Roger Wilson's song. Again, I've got a link to his YouTube channel down below. I want to know, when we close it out, was I too sappy today? Was this a stupid idea? I couldn't help it. But I got thick skin. I can handle the truth. If you think the idea was too sappy, let me know. And if you had 2 minutes with your father, if your father's still alive, you only had 2 more minutes, what would you want him to know? What do you wish he would know? And if God gave you your father back for those 2 minutes, what would you tell him? I'd love to read your comments down below. So let's go ahead and play Roger's song. I'm going to jump out of here as I always do. I say, I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice. Don't leave your good manners at home. And happy Father's Day to you all. Now here's Roger's song.
We put it in the creek and hoped it would flow. As I set sail to explore the new world, you stood on the bridge and held one end of the road. When my paddle fell in, I just quickly jumped in. You were afraid for a minute that I couldn't swim, but when you saw that I could, when I climbed back in, that was the moment you said, you never have to worry about me again. Two boys were born, I was really concerned of what kind of father I'd be. As I watched them grow, they astounded me so. I hope they would be better than me. As the years went by, I saw them lay down their toys and put all their child things away. I saw that they would do well in the end. That was the moment I said I'd never have to worry about them again. There comes a time in every son's life when they break free from under your wing. It's a heartbreak to make a step everyone takes. It truly is a difficult thing. There's that one special day when I heard my dad say, son, you're on your own, I'm going home. You proved to me, son, with this life race you won, I'll never have to worry about you again. Daddy lay dying on his deathbed. I can remember the words that he said. He had told someone that he was proud that I turned out okay. place in the end, 'cause I remember the day I said I'd never worry about you again. There comes a time in every son's life when they break free from under your wing. It's a heartbreak to make a step everyone takes. It truly is a difficult thing. There's that one special day, like I heard my dad say, son, you're on your own, I'm going home. Prove to me, son, with this life race you won, I'll never have to worry about you again. That was the moment I knew I'd never have to worry about you again.